you found the one, you should never give her up. I think it's the way life changes when in love, yeah. I surround my soul with the positivity. That's why I don't worry about the things that I don't see, yeah. These days I don't worry about much. I think.
Hey, what's up everybody? AG is back with another video that was promised. Now I want to give a big shout out to True Woo. She actually posted a good comment on the video saying that, hey, you know, you're supposed to do this great northern bean video a long time ago. You know, where is it? So here it is, True. Thank you so much for, you know, giving me that reminder. You know, life gets in the way, but sometimes you gotta make time to do something that you love, and cooking is one of the things that I do love. So we have a nice little meal plan. I already have some cornbread in the oven, just simple box cornbread, but it's going to go really well with these great northern beans I have here. It's going to be sorted and rinsed, combined with this breakfast sausage. Great vegetables. I kind of did like things in twos, except with the onions. I did, well, I guess 2 different kinds of onions actually counts as 2, so there you go. So 2 bell peppers, 1 green, 1 red, 2 ribs of celery, 2 carrots, and 2 different kinds of onion. We're going to use this whole thing, and we're going to use half of the red onion. I am supposed to put jalapeno peppers. There's like the canned jalapeno peppers. Unfortunately, when I opened the can, it did not look good to me, so I'm not going to include that. And that is a tip. If it doesn't look good, please don't use it. Got chicken stock here. I have better than bouillon. I'm just going to use like a tablespoon of that. These are my seasonings. I'm going to be using some garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, and garlic powder, onion powder, pepper, and sugar, and some sage. Now, why sugar? Sugar actually balances out savory items. So if you make this without adding the sugar, and then you actually add the sugar at the end, you'll notice a difference. This salt is going to be optional because I'm using the better than bouillon and the chicken stock, so I don't want it to be too salty. So I'm just going to, you know, let it cook with that first, and then the salt from the sausage too. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be enough salt content, but if I have to add more, I'm going to use the pink Himalayan sea salt because that has a nice seasoned flavor, but not salty flavor, if that makes sense. So let's get started with browning this sausage. Then I'm gonna get these beans rinsed and sorted, get all of these vegetables chopped up, and add it to this to the InstantPot, which I'm going to be cooking everything in today, my handy dandy InstantPot. And then we're going to let it cook for an hour and see what happens. All right, so keep in mind when you are sorting beans and rinsing them, basically it's like it sounds. You're just sorting, make sure there are no little rocks in here, make sure that there are no beans that you wouldn't want to eat. So anything that's discolored, yeah, things like that. And I put it in my colander just so if I can rinse them very easily and then just add them to the pot. So yeah, you just go through them. I've actually went through these already, but yeah, essentially you just go through these and just make sure that there are no discolored beans. And sometimes you miss some. You know, if they look kind of like this, you know, you can go ahead and pull that. But if it's only like a little bit of bruising or something like that, you don't have to actually worry about that. Okay? So, as I said before, I kind of went through these already. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse. And I see one right here. All right, beans have been rinsed. So I'm gonna set these off to the side for a moment while we get these vegetables taken care of. So I'm gonna get all these onions peeled, everything chopped up. These carrots are actually going to be peeled as well with my vegetable peeler here. You can see all the dirt and everything where it came fresh from the earth. Don't want that in your food though. So, be right back. And, sorry, before I also have the sausage browning up here very nicely. Now, the reason I'm cooking it, I could have cooked this inside of the Instant Pot, as I've showed you guys before. You don't want to cook sausage like this because, as you can see, it renders a lot of fat. You don't want that in your beans. I don't want that in mine. I don't think you should have it in yours. That's a lot of cholesterol that you're adding to your body all at one time. So, you know, just let it cook, let it render. If you want to pour off some of the fat too, as it cooks, you can do that. I kind of like to cook it almost all the way because it's going to wind up cooking in the beans anyway. So you don't want to overcook the meat, and then it becomes like a little tough. I know ground beef does that. With sausage, maybe a little different, but we're going to see. All right, that's going to continue to cook there, and I'm going to get those vegetables chopped up. I'm going to go ahead and save these for you. If you see your beans look like this, hope y'all can see it. Yeah. See it look like this? Yeah, definitely take those out because that's not something that you want in your food. All right, so I got all the vegetables chopped up, got my meat browned here, and I did drain everything. Going to add it to the beans, take all of the seasonings besides the salt and add it to it along with the chicken stock and the water, and we'll get it. All right, so I got everything added to the pot, all of the beans, the sausage, all the veggies, and I even have the chicken, 1 spoon of the chicken bouillon in there. So what I'm going to do is start off by adding all of the chicken stock to this. And be careful, you don't want to go over your fill line. So all of the ingredients actually is right at that max.
Look, my hair's level 1.
Okay, I'm recording. Can you give me a second? All right, so everything is, I got that chicken stock in. As you can see, it's not enough liquid. So I'm going to add 1 bottle of water, which is actually equal to 2 cups of water. See where that ends up. And it's almost at that max line. I don't know if you guys can see that. This max line. So I'm going to fill it all the way up till it gets to that max. And we are at the max. All right. And had this much water left over, so not bad. All right. So what we're going to do is add the seasonings now. Then you're going to give all of this a stir. And then you also have to add sage. Now this is sage. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but this is dried sage. And I like to add this to beans typically to cut down on flatulence. If you don't know what flatulence means, it's gas. And if you ever eat beans, if you ever eat chili, and sometimes you don't typically put sage in chili. You just kind of gotta roll with the punches on that one. But if you're making bean dishes, just add some sage to it. Break it up like this. Add the sage to it, and it'll help definitely cut down on the flatulence for the family, you know, things like that. But it's also a good ingredient to add because it brings that herbaceous flavor to the beans. All right, so you just kind of break that down. Any little sticks like you see there, you don't have to add that in there. It's not part of it. All right. Break that down some more. Okay. Break it down as far as you can, and then you're gonna spread it around. You're gonna give everything a nice stir, and you're gonna put it on, set the timer for 1 hour, and you will have a delicious meal. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and add this. There you go. All right. So let's go ahead and get the top secure. Well, first let's get the spoon. All right, then I'm gonna give this a nice stir. Let's see.
Oh, dang it. Stop it.
All right, all your ingredients in there. And once you give it a nice stir to get all the seasonings incorporated everywhere, then you want to kind of pat it down just to make sure it doesn't go over that fill line again. Make sure everything is kind of mashed down. It's good already. It even smells good. It smells good fresh. I know it's going to smell good cooked. All right, so top on it securely. All right, so the top is now on. That sound means that it is secure. We're going to scoot it back a little bit. Make sure that our vent it's set on venting right now. We don't want it to be venting. We want it to actually hold the pressure. So we're going to go down here. We are going to select pressure cook. We're going to go up to 1 hour, which you can just hold. People don't like that annoying buzzing, beeping sound. 1 hour. And then you're going to choose your pressure level. Make sure that it's on high pressure. It already is. And then it's going to get started. And I will see you in 1 hour. Cornbread is out of the oven, fresh and hot. Now, word of advice, whenever you take it out, just rub some butter all over it. And just make sure I get the shot first. Just make sure you get the butter all over the top. Go over it a few times, make sure it's nice and glossy. Because ultimately, this butter is going to help flavor that cornbread. And of course, you can skip this step if you're trying to be a little bit more on the healthier side. Definitely understand that. But add a little bit more flavor, probably a little bit more homemade flavor. All right, everybody. And actually, 54 minutes past that hour has elapsed since I was recording. I actually got a little bit busy, but this is actually not a bad thing. This means that it took 54 minutes for this to depressurize the way it has. So rather than me venting to make sure this is down before I open it, it's already there. So, see? All good. Okay. All right, so let's open it up, see what we got. Ooh, steamy. Nice. Okay. Let's give it a stir. Very, very chunky. All that meat, vegetables. Very, very hearty meal. Smells wonderful too. Now remember, I did put the chicken stock. I put the better than bouillon seasoning. I put the sausage in here. So it should be with the other spices, of course. Oh, getting kind of steamy. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Okay. Got a little bit too close on that one. Okay, so this is what we have here. Now, if you wanted to add just a little bit more liquid, you can. I didn't want to. You're not supposed to go past that fill line, so I didn't. So I think that this is actually pretty good, though, especially when you're eating with the cornbread. This can make a nice side, or this could actually be a meal, because it's so hearty with everything, all the good vegetables in there. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a taste to see if I need to add any more salt, which I don't think so. So let me get something to taste this with. Now, as I said, if you want to add more broth, you can. Make a little bit more broth, you can. Just add a little bit more water, I would say. Let's see. Wow, that is delicious. But I think for my taste, it does need a little bit more salt. Some people may want to stop here. That's totally fine. But now keep in mind, I don't think I mentioned this earlier, but all of my seasonings were measured by a tablespoon. So it's 1 tablespoon of salt, 1 tablespoon, this is actually 1 tablespoon in here. But 1 tablespoon of the black pepper, the onion powder, the garlic powder, the sugar, all of those flavors blend really well together. And I'm using the pink Himalayan sea salt to add that seasoning. I'm not putting all of it in just yet because I do want to taste as I go. Make sure it's not over seasoned. And of course, you can make this same thing meatless, or if you want to add some Beyond Meat or something like that, you can definitely feel free to do so. But if you are going to go meatless or add Beyond Meat or something like that to make it kind of a vegetarian style, I would suggest you add, definitely add some salt at the end, because you won't have that same salt flavoring as you would if you added some meat. Let me get another spoon. Taste that. So that was about half of a tablespoon of salt that I added, just to be sure. Looks good, doesn't it? Very nice. That's it. Oh my gosh, that was good. And that's exactly what it needed. I mean, you can actually add maybe a couple dashes of Tabasco if you want it to be a little bit spicier. But I find just adding this pink Himalayan sea salt, and that was a half of a tablespoon of it into here, was the trick it needed to bring up that saltiness. So I'm going to go ahead and plate this up, show you what it looks like with the cornbread, and we'll taste everything together. All right, nice. Melt here, still steamy. Nice amount to start right here. Then gonna get some cornbread. I did cut it up, make it nice. Sometimes if you see some of the pieces are definitely smaller than the other, because my daughter, she likes cornbread, but she doesn't like it that much. So you see how thick it is? Nice. Not as thick as, you know, some cornbreads are, but still wonderful. Cake-like cornbread. All right. All right. That's my happy song because it's going to be good. So I'll take a little bit of cornbread. Put it into the beans. I mean, some people just take their whole chunk of cornbread and put it in there. I like to kind of add it in as I go. Now, a good thing, if you were to have that can of jalapeños, that would have given it that spicy edge that I think you may not have to add any hot sauce or anything to it. Or you may just want to eat it just like this, but it's still delicious. Hold on one second, let me taste this. Cornbread, the great northern beans, the sausage, the carrots, the celery, the bell pepper, the red bell pepper, two different kinds of onions, red and white. So let's get it. Well, that works. That works. Of course, adjust the seasonings as you want. But I think you're going to be very happy with this one. I know I am. I hope you enjoyed programming. I did not feel like getting dressed this time to be on camera. Hopefully the next video I will. Anyway, again, shout out to True Woo for commenting, helping me to remember that I did promise that I was going to make this video, and I did, and I'm glad I did. So hope you check it out. Lady, let me know what you think, and everybody, let me know what you think about it, okay? Looking forward to bringing you another great video sometime soon, hopefully. And reach out to me in the comments if you have any questions, or if you want to see me cook certain things or try certain things. I would love to get that feedback from you. But until next time, y'all, have a good night. See you soon. Peacemakers. Another thing too about this dish, if you are patient enough, it'll taste so much better the next day. So if you want to take this somewhere, maybe to a gathering or something like that, prepare it the day before. Let all these seasonings mesh together, and I guarantee you it will be a hit. All right?